Hi, welcome back to Technology Review. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Technology Review TV. That's facebook.com/Technology Review TV. And remember to click on the like button and like our show there on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter as well at twitter.com/Mac Jackson Jr. Or better yet, go to my website at macjacksonjr.com where you find out information on what we do, what I do as far as being a professional speaker, dealing with cyber crimes, as well as information on our show and information on identity theft, resources that you can find out what to do, the next step you need to take if you think your identity's been stolen, or you want to find out proper procedures and policies for your business. Check out my website at macjacksonjr.com. In this segment, we call the Business Spotlight. In the Business Spotlight, we ask the question, what is the biggest cyber security threat to businesses? What is the biggest cybersecurity threat to businesses? Well, it is when businesses are not mapping their cybersecurity threats to their bottom line. In other words, they're not taking the cybersecurity serious. That's the biggest threat to businesses, but it is connected to their bottom line. And here is why. If a cyber breach happens within your organization, it's more than just pulling out a couple of disk or USB drives to store a backup. You can have all kinds of information and challenges, such as financial losses, reputational damage, and legal entanglements, just from a cyber breach. A lot of times, these breaches won't even be recognized for 3 years after the original occurrence of it. Each transaction that is compromised in your organization can cost the business somewhere between $200 to $500 per transaction. That can be in the thousands of dollars. That can put a lot of companies out of business if you have this type of attack. Now, a lot of companies think that, well, aren't we covered with our business insurance if something were to happen to our business? A lot of policies do not have cyber policies built into their plans. So that's another recommendation you should take a look at. Take a look and see if your insurance company offers cyber security if there's a data breach. But this is all because businesses are being unaware and they become more reactive to situations that happen in business versus being aware and being proactive. Proactive businesses take steps in understanding these type of threats and things that can put their company out of business. Now we're talking about the cyber threat. It's just as damaging or sometimes even more damaging as a physical threat to your companies like fire or earthquake or damages to your company that way. Having a cyber attack your business can be very, very damaging, and it can drastically affect your business's bottom line. Cybersecurity is not just an IT issue. It affects the company's bottom line. The next question for you. What do you need to know? Would you know if your company's under cyber attack? Yeah, that's the question. Would you know if your company's under cyber attack? As I said previously, sometimes companies won't be aware that there was a cyber attack within their organizations for 3 years later. Right? 3 years later, they find out because either a customer or a vendor or there's an audit that they have to go through because there's suspicion of information being lost from their company. And then the question asks, how much will it cost you in not knowing? How much would it cost you by not knowing? It can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. So what can you do? The first defense is education, training your employees, everyone in your organization to understand what is a cyber threat and how can these cyber threats affect your individual businesses. We talk about lots of different vulnerabilities within companies and what you can do to make sure that your employees are aware of these sort of vulnerabilities. And the best way is through education, as mentioned before. One of the challenges I have for you is to take a look at our workshops that we have planned for 2017 in January. January 24th, 2017 is our upcoming workshop. And it is a seminar for business owners and employees that will demonstrate real life activities and case studies that you can see how you can avoid and mitigate the damages of identity theft and fraud. Absolutely. To find out more, go to my website, macjacksonjr.com, and register for one of our free reports on identity theft and fraud. And you can also sign up for a free consultation. That's right, free consultation with me, as well as other consultational plans and programs we have available. We do have a free one as well. So would you like to know If you're under attack, oh, absolutely. And how would you know? There's ways that you can. Having proper monitoring systems and policies put in place and using correct access control within your business, we can show you the ways of doing that. The other way is to have your employees register for our Protection Connection community. And what this is, it is a monthly subscription to a service that can provide you information on what hackers are up to and what people and businesses are doing to mitigate some of these damages. We'll talk about different applications and software, apps that are good for your phone that can show you when an attack may be happening and what steps you need to take to thwart this type of attack, or getting law enforcement and IT consultants involved in it. It's chocked with information, as well as interviews from other folks that have gone through this, also interviews from experts in the industry of cyber. We will give you weekly reports of new issues that will affect your business, such as laws and regulations, as we mentioned in our first segment about why the GoFundMe account was necessary, because we are actually doing lots of research on this cyber and be able to present it to you, our customers. There'll be training videos as well, and coming really soon here, soon January, it's right around the corner, we will offer CPE credits. Continuing educational credits will be offered for our program. So stay tuned for that. We will definitely send you an email when this is ready, when we're ready for it, but definitely be on our list. So if you're looking for continuing educational credits in your profession, our webinars and workshops, live workshops, classrooms will be able to facilitate and give you that. All right, so we'll talk about some of the things that companies need to do when you're thinking of cybersecurity and what policy they should have. Companies should have a list of policies within the organization that are set up in such a way that they are connected to your business plan, right? Your mission statement. That's the key. You can't have a separate cyber policy and a different business plan where they don't work together. They have to work together, and we have to have a fluent connection between the two. So when you think of your cyber policy, what is a cyber policy? Well, for one, we'll talk about email etiquette. How are emails handled? Do you open up emails from anyone, everyone? Well, we've talked about that before here on this show, in other areas as well, and consulted with. In other words, how do you handle emails coming through from an unknown source? Do you accept them? Do you have a way of scanning these emails and make sure that the email attachments are safe and secure? Well, there are ways to do that. And with the proper email policy setup, ethics policy that is, for emails, you can be able to train your employees on how to handle all emails within your organization. We'll also talk about encryption as well, but that's just a subject matter we'll talk about within the email policy. Also, BYOD, bring your own device policy, is very, very informative, and it's very serious policy that should be created by each business, where they can understand, where their employees will understand the necessity of bringing equipment that they own to a business. The equipment that they own personally needs to be certain types, or needs to be eliminated completely, and not being able to go on the Wi-Fi of the company without prior permission or without any training. So these are just some of the things that it's important that a company has as far as policy. There's also a disaster recovery policy. In other words, how fast can you be back up and running if everything was lost or shut down? These are just some examples of things that you can do. You'll learn all this in two ways, folks. The first is by attending one of our workshops. Again, we have a workshop coming up January 24th here in Las Vegas. That's January 24th. And I'm doing a second workshop too on the 26th in Reno. I also want to make sure I note that as well for our folks up in Reno. We'll be there in Reno as well, doing a workshop there, and it deals with a lot of information, cybersecurity and document management. So stay tuned, or send us your emails, and we will put you on our list for that information also. But to find out information about our webinars, what's coming up, join our list. Not a problem. Go to MacJacksonJr.com. Click on resources and click on Protection Connection. You can find information about what we do and the upcoming webinars, seminars, online membership programs we offer, and our Reno trip as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be right back after these messages.